some of the points you were raising, you know, I also asked her to be able to respond to that. So
She did not respond to
network and associate,
She did not
sir.
respond to that. Sinasabi na nga, why should you be, yung sinasabing network, presidente na nga siya, ano ba, in power, with all the influence, with all the resources, wala siyang ginawa. Bakit naman may gagawin pa siya ngayon?
Interview ho nitong si Atty. Salvador Panelo dito kay Ma'am Pinky Webb ang ating papasadahan dito sa video na to. Kaugnay pa rin ho ito dun sa naging desisyon ng ICC na hindi pagbigyan ng interim release nitong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Pero bago yan, isang like at isang subscribe, masaya na ho tayo dyan. Sa mga gusto sumali sa ating community, yung join button nandyan lang ho sa baba. Dire-diretso na ho tayo mga kababayan.
Former President Rodrigo Duterte will remain in detention. The ICC Appeals Chamber unanimously denied his request for interim release. The Hague-based court rejected his camp's arguments that he should be freed due to his advanced age and alleged declining health. What's next for Mr. Duterte? Let's get on point with his former chief presidential legal counsel, Attorney Salvador Panelo. Attorney Panelo, good to see you again. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for your time. Were you surprised with the decision of the appeals chamber of the ICC?
No, I've been saying this is a foregone conclusion. In the first place, they forced themselves into this country without jurisdiction. So alam mo na kung ano mangyayari. Plus the cooperation of this government.
Actually, di ho nila pinwersa sarili nila dito sa bansa na to eh. Hindi nila pinwersa eh. Inimbitahan ho sila ng administrasyon itong si Bangag. Kasi kung hindi ho talaga makikipag-cooperate, hindi na ho mag-aaksaya ng oras tong ICC na to na ipursu nila yung warrant of arrest na yan laban dito kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Mantakin nyo, ang nagbigay pa ng idea sa ICC, ang ating bansa pa mismo na ipadaan sa Interpol. Anong sinabi nila buwan bago ma-arrest ditong si Tatay Dugong? Pagka pinadaan yan sa Interpol, wala tayong magagawa. Kailangan natin makipag-cooperate. Ganun ho sila kagaga.
Talagang tuloy-tuloy.
But did you look into the points raised by the defense and, of course, also the prosecution regarding the interim release? Maybe it's good that let's look into them one by one. So, accordingly, yung sabi po ng prosecution, wag ibigay yung interim release. One, because his detention remained necessary. Kailangan siyang manatili doon. Number two, that the conditions proposed for release not sufficient to mitigate risks. Yun po yung second point nung prosecutor. And the third was also rejected that he should be released on humanitarian grounds. So those were their points.
Number one, why is it necessary according to them? Why is it necessary? Ano ba sabi nila? Bakit necessary? May reason ba sila necessary?
The influence that he has still, and in fact that was also said and announced earlier by the appeals chamber. Marami ho silang sinasabi na, I heard it, I read parts of it, I read it and I heard parts of it because we were also going on air. Ang sabi po nila, Attorney Sal, is that often they said that him being a former president, still having authority, and having won as mayor, yun narinig ko yun maybe twice or three times, para kung nakasama pa sa kanya.
He was former president. And at the time that he was president, all these accusations had surfaced then. And the witnesses were there. And he didn't...
Tigi-ilang maleta ho kaya natanggap nitong mga siraulong judge na to. Tigi-ilang maleta ho kaya galing sa administrasyon nitong si Marcos Jr. Mukha pa lang ho, mukhang pera nitong sana to. Tingnan nyo ho mga kababayan.
Lift a finger at all against all of them. So where's the risk?
Yung mga risks that possibly would have come out would be interference, etc. No? So let's look at...
How can he interfere? Di ba? Unang-una, sabi nila, baka may...
May network kasi of influence. What do you say to that? That network of influence?
Malabo nga yun. Kasi kung nung actual president siya, hindi niya ginamit yung influence siya at yung power, bakit ngayon wala siya, gagamitin niya? Walang logic. Tapos yung sinasabi nila yung baka mag-escape, may risk. The man is 80 years old. He cannot even maintain balance. We know that he has plenty of sakit. Paano tatakas? I'm sure kung siyang masusunod, pag na-release siya, gusto niya na lang sa ospital diretso. Yun lang gusto
So
niya.
yan.
If we were to, I mean, you're very, obviously very vocal, no, about this justification on the former president, but that's not what obviously the appeals chamber saw. Hindi ho ba? Kaya ni-reject yung kanyang interim release eh.
They will always be seeing the negative side on this issue precisely because at the very inception, ang tawag doon sa basketball, forcing through eh. Wala ka na nga jurisdiction, kaya mo pinilit pumunta rito eh. Talagang target mo si Duterte, walang iba. At nag-participate pa itong gobyerno natin, talagang tuloy-tuloy na yan. Kahit ano sabihin mo, ever since sinasabi ko, wala na yan.
So from the very beginning, alam niyo na the interim release was a no-go.
Oh, kasi nga, yung
Suntok sa
jurisdiction
langit.
lang, may problema ka lang sa jurisdiction.
Yeah, but that was already decided upon.
Ang problema, kasi I was my unsolicited advice to the defense lawyers. Kasi napansin ko, ang sinasabi ng chamber, di ba, ang niraise nila is yung ginawa mong, parang kini-question mo yung jurisdiction. Ang ground mo lang is that we withdrew and nag-umpisa kayo ng investigation 2 years after. Yun lang, nilimit nila doon. And I said, dagdagan nyo pa. Number one,
Anong dapat idagdag?
dapat ang one jurisdiction mo, number one is yung ground for jurisdiction. The Rome Statute never took effect in this country because of the constitutional requirement of
Publishing
publication.
it
That's
in the
one.
official gazette.
Oh. May ruling ng Supreme Court doon eh. Yung sa Tabera case. Sinabi na yun, pag hindi mo pinablish yan, walang epekto yan. Number two, ang sabi ko, dapat dinagdag nyo na yung pinagpipilitan na, kasi sabi nila, hindi, you're still under obligation sa amin kasi we started the investigation.
Galing to si Atty. Panelo.
referring
The
to the
preliminary examination.
I've been saying
Yeah. It's called preliminary examination.
matagal ko nang sinasabi, yung preliminary examination cannot be part of preliminary investigation. You know why? It doesn't discuss the case. What it determined at the time was whether or not the principle of complementarity applies. Because all the states, members of the Rome Statute, hindi sila pwedeng pumasok unless, one, wala silang
Kasapi ka.
kakayahan. No capability. At kung may capability naman, they're not doing it kasi sila yung mga guilty. That's the only time, yun ang dinidetermine nila. In fact, I remember the Solicitor General at the time, nilalabanan nila, excuse me, we have a robust, di ba sila robust legal system. We have, tingnan mo, Pinky, we have prosecuted thousands, we jailed thousands. Ano pa bang prueba na may capacity tayo? Number two, may sinipa tayong presidente, in-exile natin. Number three, 2 presidente pinakulong natin. Ang dami libo-libo nakakulong. Paano mo sasabihin wala tayong kakayahan? Doon lang, only on that basis alone, wala na jurisdiction. Kaya dapat sinama niyo yun.
Bakit hindi sinama? As you were suggesting.
Hindi ko na alam yun. Ang problema kasi sa kanila,
Sino ba sila, sir?
yung mga defense lawyers ng mga dayon, ayaw nila kasi yung magpapasok ng Filipino lawyer eh. They were relying principally on the former president. Sila na nga nagsasabi may cognitive decline. So kung ano mga tatanong nila, baka nakalimutan na nung mama.
Is it also possible that
Dapat ho talaga sa mga pinagkakatiwalaang abogado ni Tatay Digong, nagpasok yung defense. Hindi naman ho para nandito tayo para magkasisiyan. Kasi ang aabasa ho talaga natin dito, kahit anong paliwanag natin dito sa siraulong ICC na to, hindi ho talaga napakakakulan si Tatay Digong. Mantakin nyo, pinadaan pa talaga sa Interpol yung warrant na yan para madagip nila itong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Ilinipad ho nila ng ora-orada na hindi na idinaan sa competent judicial authority o kung ano pa man. Kasi kung gagamitin yung warrant, so epektibo yung warrant, so yung mga rules sa pag-serve ng warrant base doon sa Rome Statute na tinatawag nila, dapat sundin yung dalhin sa competent judicial authority. Hindi yung ginawa yun. Tapos ngayon, dyan sa apila na yan, mapagbibigyan itong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa kanyang interim release. Wala po talaga. Ang atin na lang ho dito mga kababayan, pagdasal lang ho natin ang kalusugan itong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Konting tiis pa, Tatay Diggs. Konting tiis pa. Konting tiis pa. Ang gusto lang naman Tatay Diggs, umuwi na ng Davao. At doon na mamahinga. Matanda na ho yan. Di ba? Kung sinasabi ho nila, medyo nag-uulyanin na si Tatay Digong, dapat hindi masyadong kabahan itong si Marcos Jr. Kasi isa ho sa mga problema nitong si Bangag, itong si Tatay Digong, pinakikinggan ho yan ng military. Pagka nagsalita ho yan, merong kurot sa mga taga-military kasi nakita ho nila yung totoong pagmamahal ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Hindi lang doon sa mga high-ranking military personnel, pati doon sa mga nasa baba, talagang yung kanilang moral napakataas nung panahon itong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte.
The arguments that you raised to them may seem weak.
Ay, anong weak? Napakalakas nga doon.
To them, I said, may seem
Aba, hindi
weak.
po pwede. You have to follow, kasi yung domestic law prevails over international law. Yun ang pinaka-importante ron. You cannot interfere in the jurisdiction of a country unless that country allows you. And this is a particular case where they allow. Pero may kondisyon. Papasok kayo sa amin kasi wala kaming kakayahan. Or may kakayahan man kami, mga siraulo yung mga nandun, kaya hindi ipoprosecute. That's the only time. Kasi if we will agree with their theory, ay wala nang country na maaaring lumabas sa kanilang jurisdiction. Kasi palagi nilang sinasabi, from the time a case is filed, we have jurisdiction. Isus Mariosep. Eh di wala na pala. Absolute na pala. Kasi kahit anong sabi mong wala kayong jurisdiction on this ground, hindi na pwede kasi, nag-file. We determine, nag-preliminary, hindi na kayo po pwede.
There was a decision made on that.
Absolute na pala yung authority nyo. So, sinira nyo yung jurisdiction ng lahat ng bansa na miyembro nyo. Hindi naman po pwede yun.
So,
yun ang problema sa ICC. Yan ang problema talaga sa ICC na yan. Kaya umalis ang Amerika dyan eh. Problematiko ho yung niyan, yung mga pulisiya nila dyan sa ICC na yan. Amerika, hindi kasali dyan. Hindi ho sila sasali dyan. O bakit hindi ho niltrabahuin niya si Putin, niya si Netanyahu? Meron din namang warrant yan. Bakit hindi idaan dyan sa Interpol? Kasi hindi ho sila pagkakaluno nung kanilang kanilang mga bansa. Hindi kagaya sa atin, hindi umano adik yung presidente natin. Kaya ganito ho ang sinapit ng isa sa ating presidente. Kung may kasalanan, hindi kulong yun sa Pilipinas. Wala namang problema yan. Hayaan nyo maglitis sa kanya yung mga Pilipinong abogado, Pilipinong huwes. Di ba? Hayaan natin yun. Pero mga banyaga, anak ng towa. Hindi na natin binigyan ng kakarampot lamang na dignidad ang ating lahing Pilipino. Dito siya ginawa na tayo. Parang adik huwata talaga no?
what could be next? Because there's still a motion on the unfit to stand trial. Basically, ang sabi ng defense, tigilan na natin yung let's stop the proceedings because the former president is unfit to stand trial.
Good you mentioned that kasi I've been criticizing the chamber. Sabi nila, we're denying because the accused wasn't able to prove that he is mentally unfit. Sabi ko, excuse me, bakit ang accused magpo-prove? He is a controlled environment. Nakakulong eh. He has no access to medical equipment, medical expertise. Kayo yun eh. ICC kaya dapat from the very
Why do you
beginning.
say he has no access to medical
How can he
doctors?
How can he has that?
They're big
Nakakulong
on, malaki po sila on the medical condition of the respondents that they are keeping detained there.
Ang sinasabi nila, meron naman kaming doktor, di ba?
Yeah, we have a
meron
round-the-clock
kaming
nurse.
Si Presidente Duterte, bago nila inaresto, ilan ba ang nurses niya? 3. 24 hours, palit-palit.
Shifting of 8
May
hours
doktor pa.
each.
Ay doon, meron kang nurse sa nurse station. Hindi mo binabantayan yung pasyente mo. Napakadelikado ng sitwasyon niya. Kaya sabi ko, kayo dapat ang mag-prove na mentally fit yan.
But isn't that the reason why they got 3 independent medical doctors to look into the former
Dati tinanggal
president?
nila yung isa.
Dalawa na po yung tinanggal nila.
But
They
that
took out
came-
one, pinalitan, and then yung pinalit ata,
Yes, but that came
pinalitan
later
din.
after they've been criticized severely yung kanilang ginawa na bakit yung accused ang pinapaprove mo na unfit siya? Kayo dapat yung from the very start. Nung dinitain nyo pa lang yan, dapat in-examine nyo na yan.
But they did. They did examine him, right?
Pero kung totoo yun, bakit nagpapa-examine na naman silang panibago. Sige nga.
Because of the motion of Attorney Kaufman
Exactly.
that he is unfit to stand
Exactly.
trial. That came from the defense. That did not
Teka
come
muna.
from the prosecution.
Exactly. Kung in-examine mo na yan, kahit ka pa mag-file ng motion, kung ako ang judge, excuse me, in-examine na namin yan. He's mentally fit. The fact alone na you allowed yourself to grant such motion, you're admitting na hindi mo in-examine noon.
Well,
Yan
of
kaya
course,
may
you have to grant
problema.
the motion because it was a motion or an application coming from the defense. Alam nga naman, hindi mo pansinin yun.
Oo
Diba?
nga, pero
At saka one more thing, Attorney Sal, no? The former president was there in March, hindi ho ba? So chinek siya, he seemed okay. Obviously, that's why he remained there. From March till November, or from the time that the unfit to stand trial was filed by the defense, I believe that was sometime September 10, maybe the first week of September, kasi dapat yung confirmation of charges na September 23. They filed that motion, unfit to stand trial. My question is, from the time of March till September, that possibly, I'm assuming, was the time that Attorney Kaufman, the defense team, and said that throughout this time, here is the former president now unfit to stand trial. There was a decline.
Kasi nga, dapat from the time na na-aresto yan, in-examine mo na thoroughly yan, considering na marami siyang nararamdaman. Pero hindi naman nila ginawa yan. Ordinaryong examination, yung blood pressure, okay
I
ba?
don't think so, sir. How do you know that?
Kung totoo yung sinasabi nila, bakit mo nga pina-examine uli?
Okay, we're not
Because you can
gonna-
always deny the motion, Pinky, on the ground now. Excuse me, you have already examined that thoroughly.
Correct.
This is the report.
Yeah, but they at some point when they decide on this, Attorney Panelo, they can deny that motion of unfit to stand trial. But let's first take a breather. We're gonna.
Yung punto nitong, tama naman yung punto nitong si Attorney Salvador Panelo. Itong si Ma'am Ganda, pinagpipilitan niya sa kanya. Kung talagang in-examine na yan, pwede naman talagang sabihin nila, teka lang, ba't pa natin i-examine? In-examine, wala nang examine dyan. Doon pa lang sa, ang punto ni Attorney Panelo, doon pa lang sa pagpapahintulot, doon sa motion, ibig sabihin, hindi na talaga na-examine ng maayos yan sa Tatay Digong. Kasi kung na-examine na siya ng maayos, wala na maraming cheche-bureche. Deny. Anong examine? Ayan yung mga resulta ng examination. Anong examine? Ulitin nyo na naman. Na-examine na. O yan o. Examine. Talong examine na yan. Galing lahat ICC. O, ano pa? Pare-parehas yung, yung findings. O, bakit pinahintulutan pa? Sige, sa ulo Forward na ho tayo.
Christina Conti. Attorney Conti, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for your time.
Ay, nako, nandito si Conti ang utak.
Okay, just a quick reaction from your end regarding the decision of the appeals chamber.
We're absolutely satisfied. It was a unanimous decision to deny the appeal of Duterte. And sabi nga ng mga biktima, mukhang makakapagpasko sila ng kahit paano masaya.
Makakapagpasko ng masaya? Nung nasa Pilipinas ba tong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, sa kahaba-haba ng panahon, hindi nagpasko ng masaya yung mga buwisit na biktima na yan, na hindi nila naalagaan yung mga anak nila kaya mga naging adik. Anak ng tokwa. Pambihira. Sa kahaba-haba ng panahon, ngayon pala sila magpapasko ng masaya?
Attorney
Raulo.
Conti, some of the points now raised, which Attorney Salvador Panelo is here also beside me, and he was raising it as well. Yung mga issues, kasi just to give a little bit of a background dito sa naging appeal ng defense regarding the decision of the pretrial chamber on the interim release. Sabi ng pretrial, his detention remains necessary. That
Yes.
the conditions proposed for the release are not sufficient to mitigate risks. And then the third was rejected, that he should be released through humanitarian reasons. Yun po sabi ng pretrial chamber. We're not going to allow it because of those points. Before I go to the defense argument, Attorney Panelo also here, as I mentioned a while ago, saying, anong risks? Ano pa ba ang risks? And when I answered him, because I heard it during the appeals chamber decision, sabi nga na meron pa siyang network of influence, dating Pangulo, at ngayon ay nanalo pa na mayor ng Davao. Tama ho ba yung aking rinig, Attorney Conti?
Yes, that's precisely it. It's that Duterte still enjoys influence within the Philippines, and not only influence, he and his family, his associates, lagi nababanggit no, associates and network. So it's not simply him. That was actually one of the defense, kumbaga, arguments in the appeal. Sabi nila, wala nang magagawa si Duterte, nakakulong na siya. The chamber now says, it's not just him that you need to appreciate. It's his associates, his family members who are in office. One is Vice President of the Philippines.
I see.
And it's also the resources available to them. And I'd like to point out that what the judge pointed out regarding parang what risk for the ICC, it's the possibility, not the inevitability of something happening is what is important. Kumbaga, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. As much as possible, they would avoid, and kumbaga, dapat hindi yung parang second thought na lang, ay nakalaya na, oops, oo nga, no, sayang, di natin nagawa ng paraan. Or, ay, may biktima na namatay or may witness na nawala. They, as much as possible, do not go.
May biktima na nawala. Kung gusto, anak ng tao ka, hindi kailangan makalaya ni Tatay Digong. Kung yung mga senaryo na sinasabi mo na yan, hoy, konti ang utak, mangyayari. Pero hindi nga ginawa nung nakalaya pa eh. Nasa laya si Tatay Digong yung sinasabing mga biktima. Anak ng tao ka, nagme-Merry Christmas naman sila. Wala, hindi ko talaga. Tanggap naman nun natin sa kahit anong bansa, meron nun talagang mga individual na kagaya nitong si Conti. Kahit anong bansa, maniwala ko tayo dyan. Wala akong bansa na walang oposisyon, walang bansa na walang adik, walang bansa. Lahat to talaga meron. Pero nalulungkot lang ho tayong tanggapin na dito sa mga kaganapan na to, mas nananaig po itong mga ganitong klaseng senaryo sa ating bansa. Tanggap naman natin eh. Yung okay lang sana, hindi pong medyo balance yung laban. Ngayon hindi. Mga adik ho talaga namamayagpag eh. Mapa sa Malacanang, mapa sa Karsada. Kahit sa ang aspeto ng puro adik ho namamayagpag. Adik sa pera, adik sa droga. Lahat ng kaadikan ho nila.
To that inevitability or the thing happening, but just the mere possibility, they will act on it.
Just also a follow-up because Attorney Panelo also was saying a while ago, no, nung Pangulo nga siya, wala siyang ginawa, didn't even lift a finger for any influence or to intervene dito sa mga kaso or sa mga biktima. I know, Attorney Conte, you were saying.
Ito paanin ko na ho kayo. Yung sinasabi nilang DDS, nung mayor pa si Tatay Digong dyan sa Davao, yung mga nabalitaan natin noon, hindi ho niya talaga kilala yung mga yan. Sa totoo lang. Yung mga mismong mamamayan ng Davao ho, sila ho ang may gusto ng katahimikan. Nagkaisa yung mga, hindi, ito, mga narinig ko doon nung nagpunta ako. Ang sabi ho nila mga kababayan, ano daw yun, mga sibilyan, hindi kilala ng Digong. At pinapahanap niya, dahil abogado si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, pinakaayaw ho nila yan eh. Yung pagkitil sa mga ganyang klaseng kaparaanan. Kasi abogado eh, alam ho niya batas eh. Siya mismo ho, pinapahanap niya yung mga yan. Ito yung mga nabalitaan ko sa Davao. Kumbaga, ito ho, ikinikwento ko sa inyo. Hindi ho niya kilala yan. Yung mga vigilante. Ang ito, rektahin ko na ho kayo. Ang sinasabi ho nila, yung mga nakakwentuhan natin, mga taxi driver, mga taga ron, hindi yung mga taga Manila eh. Mga taga Manila, wala namang alam yung mga yan. Kaya nga nagtanong tayo sa Davao eh. Ang sabi ho nila, sila daw ho yun. Mga tao sa Davao, pagka ikaw gumawa ng kalokohan, hindi ka talaga palalabasin doon. Hindi si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Wala siyang kinalaman sa mga yan. Sa maniwala ko kahit sa hindi. Halimbawa, ikaw nasa isang kanto ka. Gumawa ka ng katarantaduhan, nagnakaw ka, nag-ano ka. Hindi naman kailangan na kumumpas pa ni Tatay Digong. Yung mga mismong mga tao doon, sila ang dumidisiplina sa kanilang mga kasama. Sila ang nagsasabi na, hindi pwede yan. Kung gusto nyo magnakaw, alis kayo dito sa Davao. Tahimik kami dito, alis kayo. Ganon nung sila. Meron nung silang ganon na prinsipyo na dapat pagka pumasok kayo dito, huwag kayo manggulo. Kasi pagka nanggulo kayo, may kalalagyan kayo. Mismo mga tricycle driver daw, ito kinuwento lang naman, hearsay ka nga. Pero kahit sinong tanongin natin, sa 10 nakausap natin, pare-pareho sinasabi nila. Pagka ikaw pumasok sa Davao, huwag kang manggulo. Kasi kahit yung mga tricycle driver dyan sa gilid, may kalalagyan ka sa mga yan. Pag nakita ka ng mga jeepney driver, mga vendor, talagang kukuyugin ka ng mga yan. Kasi gusto ho nila tahimik ang kanilang lugar. Nagkakaisa sila doon sa isang bagay na dapat pagka pumasok ka ng Davao, huwag kang manggulo kasi may kalalagyan ka. Hindi na ho pulisiya nung ika nga yung siguro yung ordinansya ng local government, bawal manigarilyo, yun mga ganon. Pero yung mismong mga mamamayan sa Davao, pagka nanggulo ka, talaga may kalalagyan ka. Hindi kailangan magsalita ni Duterte. Kumbaga nagustuhan nila yung pamamalakad na kung saan dapat tahimik ang Davao. Yung mga mismong mamamayan, sila ho nagpapatupad doon. Ito si Conti wala namang alam eh.
Saying that it's not him. It's also his networks and
Ay,
associates.
nako.
No? But just to answer that also while Attorney Panelo's here. Go ahead, ma'am.
Well, if you remember the Senate investigation, and this is one of the factual information that was contested in the appeal or discussed in the appeal, it's the reliance on a news report about
Itong ano na to, judge na to, bakulaw na bakulaw. Hoy, bakulaw! Langya ka, ilang maleta binigay sa'yo? Ha? Yang maleta na yan, madaming pinatay sa Pilipinas yan ha? Yung mga natanggap niyong pera, maraming pinatay sa Pilipinas yan. Mas marami pa, dyan sa mga inaakusan nyo na 19 katao na crimes against humanity na inaakusan nyo dyan sa linilitis nyo na yan. 19 katao, crimes against humanity, palakpakan natin, anak ng tokwa. Talagang aalis ang Amerika dyan. Anong Petrang Garapata?
the alleged parang loyalty check by, if I may name names, no? This was by the former Senator, currently Senator Alan.
Ito pa, isa na to. Mukha pa lang. Ilang maleta natanggap mo, Brad? Yan nga kayo, alam ko, hindi niyo ako naiintindihan, pero itong galit na nararamdaman ko na to. Sana naiintindihan tayo, no?
Peter Cayetano and Bato de la Rosa. They were talking to a witness in the hearings about the DDS killings, and parang he was loyalty check. Alam mo na kung kanino ka magiging loyal, alam mo na. That was included in the consideration of the pre-trial chamber.
I see.
At that's associated clearly. At that point, Alan Peter had run as vice president of Duterte. Di ba?
Right. Right. Okay. Also, there's one point I wanted to raise. I have to be very candid. I didn't get to watch the whole reading of the decision because I was also on air. There was a part, though, that I hope you can clarify for me because there were 3 points that were raised ni Huba. Inisa-isa po yun ni Judge, kaya rejected yung first point, rejected yung second point, rejected po yung third point. At one point there, the judge was talking about humanitarian considerations to the effect that yung pagkarinig ko po that dapat balikan ng pre-trial chamber itong appeal on humanitarian considerations. Did you hear that? Or did I just not hear it in full? Kasi parang ang sabi ko noon, mukhang sinasabi ng appeals chamber, kailangan talaga tingnan yung kanyang medical situation.
I don't know, but what I heard was, pagkakaintindi ko, that the pre-trial chamber has the authority and has the right to look into everything about his medical condition at that point. What the judge in the end said was, well, it's correct. The pre-trial chamber did appreciate the information about his medical condition. They saw nothing unreasonable kasi ang sinasabi ng defense, the judges in the pre-trial chamber ignored some of the information. Dito sinasabi niya, well, the pre-trial chamber has the authority to look into whatever, and from what we saw, there was no unreasonable ignoring any of the information.
I see, yeah.
Hindi naman daliwala. And therefore, that decision seems to be sound, and there is no error in their ultimate conclusion.
All right.
Kasi, actually, sorry, if I may just put this in, yung sa interim release kasi, humanitarian grounds is not a clear-cut, kumbaga parang exception or basis. It's really just the what was mentioned in Article 58.
Yeah.
Flight risk, etc., etc. Humanitarian grounds, very rare yun. Uso sa Pilipinas, I know.
Okay.
Pero sa kanila, bago yun, and so the pre-trial chamber should be allowed to kumbaga, appreciate the information.
Lastly,
Hindi understood po.
Apo. Attorney, lastly, no? So, isa na lang po yung pending, yung sa unfit to stand trial.
One, before that issue before the pre-trial chamber, but there's also an appeal on the rejected jurisdiction
Yes.
question.
Apo.
So, before the appeals chamber, there's one other issue.
Jurisdiction.
The pre-trial chamber, yes, and the pre-trial chamber, one issue, or main issue. The,
Unfit to stand trial.
yes.
All right. Maraming salamat po, ICC Assistant to Counsel, Attorney Christina Conti. Thank you so much for your time. So, care to react?
Jen.
Thank you, ma'am. Some of the points you were raising, you know, I also asked her to be able to respond to that. So
She did
it's
not
not
respond to-
network and associate,
She did not
sir.
respond to that. Sinasabi na nga, why should you be... Yung sinasabing network, presidente na nga siya, ano ba, in power, with all the influence, with all the resources, wala siyang ginawa. Bakit naman may gagawin pa siya ngayon? Tandaan mo, he could have not come to the Philippines. Marami nang advice sa kanya,
You
mga
mean from
abogado
Hong
niya.
Kong? He could have come back
Di
to
ba?
the Philippines from
Pero
Hong
sabi
Kong.
niya, no, harapin ko sila. O, dun lang, makikita mo na.
Attorney Panelo, how do you think, what is your forecast regarding this still motion on unfit to stand trial before the pre-trial chamber
Eh,
one?
tutuloy nila yan.
What do you mean by that? They
Well,
will reject-
they will proceed with the trial. Unless
what is the unless?
we're overrun by events.
Okay. Hindi po. Legally, doon po tayo doon sa legally. Meron pa ho kasi kayong naging
Palagi naman legal eh.
urgent, meron pong unconstitutional means. Yung urgent motion that you
Yes,
filed on behalf of the daughter,
yes.
Kitty Duterte,
To resolve the petition for a writ of habeas corpus
yung writ of
petition.
habeas.
Yes.
So, why do you think, I mean, there's two possible, one, they would probably say that it's not within our jurisdiction anymore.
Hindi po pwedeng walang jurisdiction.
Wala
Kasi
na siya sa amin.
hindi po pwede yun kasi nag-cite na kami ng mga reasons. Number one, yung pinaka-recent, yung kay Tebes. Hindi ba Tebes denied extradition? Ba't natin na ibalik dito? Mantalang talo tayo doon. Number two, yung sa Trump case, may dineport, pero irregular yung kanilang deportation. Sabi ng Supreme Court, mali kayo. Facilitate the release. Balik nyo. Number three, yung Lukban case, yung 124 or 120 prostitute, tinapon sa Davao, nag-file ng petition for writ. Ang sabi ng gobyerno, wala na kayong jurisdiction, wala na yung tao. Excuse me, sabi ng court, kahit na wala ang tao rito, yung mali nyo, sinusundan kayo kung saan kayo. In other words, my argument from the very start is the government has committed an illegal act, then the Supreme Court has jurisdiction over these government
This
officials
supposed
and
illegal
therefore can
act.
compel them to correct what they did and bring back the president,
Very
former
quickly,
president here.
Attorney Panelo, why do you think wala pa pong decision dyan?
Hindi ko alam kasi unang-una, ang Korte Suprema naman maraming trabaho. Pangalawa, medyo mahirap din naman yung legal issues involved. Palagay ko they will resolve. Kasi sabi namin,
You're so confident,
pag hindi mo ni-resolve yan, your honors, yung deterioration ng kanyang karamdaman,
Health.
baka hindi naman sana mangyari, baka mamamatay pa doon. Pangalawa, yun yung mga involved doon sa illegal act, lahat sila na-promote eh. Para bang nire-reward natin yung illegality. At parang you're not giving relief to the ordinary citizen dito sa mga opisyalis, violating with impunity yung batas. Kaya kailangan sabi namin, i-resolve yan na po para ma-prevent na natin to so that the majesty of the law will prevail.
Former Chief Presidential Legal Counsel, Attorney Salvador Panelo. Sir, pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Ayun na nga mga kababayan, dito na natatapusin ang ating reaction video. Maraming salamat po sa pag-support sa Pizza Pete. Mag-ingat po kayo lahat ng Pilipinas.